Hey guys, welcome to the Gecko Pod, episode 19. We are a podcast for the gecko community where we talk about the hobby and business of breeding geckos. And our goal is to bring helpful content for everybody to learn from so we can continue to grow and be excited in this hobby together. My name is Harry at Zero's Geckos. AJ is AJD Reptiles, the man. And we have the awesome guest, Lil Monsters Reptiles, Anthony and Jess. Thanks for joining us, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good.
You guys are doing all right.
Hopefully you guys are.
Yeah,
we're good. We're good.
Always good. I think we're always
glad
good,
to be here.
Nice.
This might sound obvious, but what's the background on how you guys got your name, Lil Monsters?
Actually, that was funny. I used to work with my uncle.
Yeah.
And washing cars and stuff like that. And I told him about my idea to have a reptile business one day. And I was like, I haven't thought of a name, but he just kind of came up with it on the spot. And he was like, should be Lil Monsters. And I was like, Lil Monsters? Like L-I-L or little? He's like, L-I-L. And I was like, huh.
Like Lil Wayne?
And he even on the spot drew a little logo, like LM with a little gecko on it.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. And that was it. Ever since then, I was like, I like it. It's a good sign. So
yeah.
I went with Lil Monsters and I kept it.
Yeah, that's a good. Oh, that's a Big Monsters Reptiles right there.
This is not a little
big monster is here.
Big monster.
Big and thick monster.
Who wants to be a part of this?
Jessica's always walking around with reptiles in the house.
It's true.
Yes, we expect you to grab at least a dozen different animals during this podcast.
I'm sure she will.
Well, I can't have the spinies out because they're sleeping now.
Oh,
they
that's
sleep
true.
at like 5:30.
Okay.
I should probably put her away though. But anyway, how old were you when you came up with the name?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good question. I think I was 16, 17 maybe.
Wow.
Had some leopard geckos at that point. I had already hatched some Leos.
Yeah.
Had ball pythons. Absolutely wanted cresteds because they were like the buzzword back then, but like impossible to get. They were in magazines, obviously. Some pretty fun magazine articles back then when the blue ones came out. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah, the ones that just were like clearly photoshopped and not real.
Yeah, it was like an issue with the printing agency apparently.
Yeah. Everybody's like,
so
whoa,
hilarious.
they're blue.
They're blue too. They were like the most incredible blue. I don't know if you guys saw, but we actually have those original photos on the Foundation Genetics page too.
Oh,
nice.
Okay,
well, we have them right
is
next
that?
to each other.
I'm
We
gonna
have a
eventually
blue
pull that up.
Vivarium magazine one, and then we have like what the actual photo was.
Is it just
that's
like a
cool.
buckskin animal next to like a blue animal?
It's like a nice pin, actually, with like
Okay,
highlighted
that's
white
good.
pinning and like kind of like a darker brownish coloration, and like orange patterning. But yeah,
That's cool.
they look very normal, like what you would expect.
Not blue.
I'm gonna eventually
Definitely
pull
not
it up
And your first
while we're talking.
animal that you ever wanted?
What?
Nile monitor.
Oh yeah, I wanted a
yeah.
Nile
How
monitor.
old were you?
That was
Like
my first that I
13?
wanted, absolutely. Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
was like 13, 14 at that age.
That's a pretty crazy
man.
animal.
yeah. When I went to the pet store to pick it up, the owner was like, no.
The kid,
Like, why
kid,
not?
you're gonna die.
They're like, look at this leopard gecko instead. I was like, okay. So you recommend I start with this? He goes, yes. How big does the other one get? 6 feet. Okay, I'll start with
Well, that's a responsible shop owner that they at least
No,
stopped
they
you.
were.
For sure.
Absolutely. Because that thing was tiny when I saw it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a tiny little Nile monitor, and they're like, oh.
They're
So
gorgeous
cute.
back then. Like, they were
If
incredible.
they just stayed like so cute.
Mini ones. Are you guys both from SoCal?
I
am
am
not.
born and
I-
raised. but
Yeah,
not
I
her.
grew up in
Okay.
Seoul, Korea.
Okay, cool. Did you come over to California from Korea?
I did in 2005,
Okay.
and then I met Anthony in 2007.
Okay. Oh,
Nice.
I had
so
a little
cute.
bit of accent still too.
Yeah, she had an accent too. It was funny. I was like, where are you from?
He's like,
Oh, did you guys meet at a reptile show?
No. We met at a friend's house, actually.
Okay.
That's cool.
Oh, cool.
yeah, but he
Jess,
took me to my first reptile show.
is that how you got into reptiles, Jess?
Actually,
Anthony?
the first time I ever came over to his house, he was like, he kind of kept his reptiles hidden from me.
He was embarrassed.
And he was like, well, I have to feed my snake. And I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. Can I watch? Like, can I see this? Like, do you have reptiles? And he was like, you want to see this? Like,
Yeah.
And that
that's
was
right.
it. He knew.
That was it.
Is it?
He knew.
Yeah. Now she's the one driving all the animals.
That's
That was
awesome. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
So you guys had reptiles really early on, and when did you guys start? So you guys been collecting a long time. When did you guys eventually start breeding and making it a business and going to shows and to vend and things like that?
When I first met Anthony, he told me he used to have cresteds, but he didn't anymore. He had tokays and one leopard gecko and
2 leopard geckos.
one. I never met Hex.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't.
Yeah, so you had one.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you had a boa constrictor.
Mm.
And you took me to my first reptile show. You got another crested. You're like, you know,
Mhm.
I like this. So I'm going to get this one crested. I got a bearded dragon. And it was like
Oh, yeah.
2007, 2008.
Yeah.
It was
Wh-
2007.
Were the shows the same back then, like the Anaheim show, Pomona show, or they're all
No.
Well, we had NARBC back then.
Yeah,
Oh,
We didn't
Really?
have the
Where was it?
reptile-
in California?
Anaheim.
Anaheim.
Anaheim. Oh,
Mhm.
So we had
Interesting.
NARBC back then. Then they left California.
Mhm.
So we didn't
Hmm.
actually have a show for a year or so before Reptile Super Show started back up. Kind of took over that whole scene, moved into like San Diego shows and stuff. Or Pashy had some like personal shows that he did, like local stuff,
Mhm.
which
That's
was
cool.
pretty fun.
Like barbecue, like, oh, come over. He'd like
Yeah.
send out, because everything was communication through email. We'd have to email everybody
Yeah.
back then. There wasn't like Morph Market or Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah,
So
seriously.
we would email like all these breeders, and so we were on the email list. And he invited us to a party. Like he was just like, oh, I'm just getting a small get together. I'm gonna have some reptiles. You guys are invited. More than welcome to come. So yeah,
That's
where
cool.
we picked up our first red almost full pin, because that was didn't exist when we it was like
Yeah.
98% red pinstripe.
It was a
like-
creamsicle label or something like that on
Yeah.
it, right?
Ooh,
And then we got, it
creamsicles.
was like a brick red.
Yeah, creamsicles back in the day.
Yeah. Everything was a creamsicle, basically. If it
Yeah,
wasn't
seriously.
dark, it pretty much was a creamsicle. Is it
Yeah.
red? Is it yellow? Is it orange? It's a creamsicle.
But no, he ended up being like a brick red color.
Yeah.
And then that's where we've got our first lychee too. I think that's
Oh, wow.
2008.
Yeah, maybe like 08, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Did you guys?
Yeah.
Did you and Anthony just know each other back in the early days, or was it too far for you guys? Because you guys are
I don't
California
think
and-
we really knew each other. I'm sure we were on the same
Okay.
forums and kind of in the same spheres, but no, I don't think we knew each other.
So when did you guys start? When did you guys connect? Eventually, know each other.
I mean, not that long ago, maybe like
Oh,
4
yeah.
years ago or something.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. It was at Tinley when I first met you.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
person.
I know.
Yeah.
I definitely knew of you, but as far as like when we really like connected and met and kind of tied together the.
I mean, I've heard your
connection.
name before, your business name and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
for the most part, I knew a few people back then, but I didn't really keep in touch with like the majority of the community or like Facebook or anything like that. I stopped going on the forums and stuff, but yeah.
Well, it was really interesting. I mean, I don't think there really was as much community back then. I think that social and like social media and stuff has really kind of helped that, believe it or not. Back on the forums, it was like you were just a username. You weren't really a person often.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't have a face.
It was like people knew your geckos and that you were, you know, this random username, but it wasn't really tied to a person. So
No.
Yeah.
And then I don't think
that's a
people
good
had
difference.
profile photos back then for anything either.
No,
yeah.
it was like MySpace back then or something.
So there,
MySpace-
there is some good stuff that came from Facebook and Instagram and
For
all
sure,
that.
yeah. Fun fact, our very first reptile show was actually NARBC in Anaheim.
Oh,
That was like the last time they were here.
Would you-
Wow.
Yeah, actually, it was their last show that it was
Yeah.
here, which I
Was
believe
that
was
like-
08.
was that like 2009 or something?
2008.
I think it was 08.
2008. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 08. Then we had a break for 09.
It gets all jumbled up.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
Rami did the
Yeah.
super shows in San Diego.
Mm.
So yeah, so we went to our first one together in San Diego, the super show.
Yeah, it was San Diego, right?
It was small. It was a small venue.
Yeah, it's amazing how big those shows have
We
grown.
actually vented the San Diego show, and it was tiny. It was
Yeah.
like
Not
a
a
wall
super
to wall.
show.
It was like a
tiny
square
show.
room.
It was almost Tinley size, actually.
I remember this is actually prompting a memory I had. I remember back in like probably around 2008, 2009, I was talking to Derek Dunlop because we used to vend together at NARBC, and he had showed me a bunch of animals that he had bought when he went to the San Diego Super Show. And he's like, oh man, I bought all these. And it was like all these insane animals. He's like, yeah, I paid like $50 a piece for these. I'm like, I need to go to this show just so I could buy animals. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Like there was, I think there was kind of a golden era of, I don't know if it was just Alan selling or if it was like a bunch of people that maybe were kind of tight in with his, kind of what he was selling. Yeah. But I would see animals that would come out of the San Diego show and was like mind blown.
They were like insane pins.
Yeah.
Really
for that time. Yeah. There was like yellow pins and, red pins and stuff. And it was like, where is this stuff coming from? Because I don't see any of it online or the forums or anything. And it was just like this mystical place of the San Diego Super Show.
I think that's where we were spoiled, is because we started here and our mentor was Alan. So we saw a lot of his animals, and a lot of our foundation group was from Alan.
Yeah. Mine were too, but I had to buy him off his website and email him and
harass him for photos.
Hey, can you hey, I just want animals like this. Can you send me like 10 of these? Yeah, sure.
Is Alan from California?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's out here in Oceanside.
Oh, sweet. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Philippe too. Oceanside.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so got a really cool.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
Yeah,
all the original stuff.
Yeah,
that was out here and stuff.
I was just surprised that they remembered us because we were I was 18, 19. I'm like, hey,
Anthony, do you know where Frank Fass lives? He live in Michigan or
one of those states somewhere.
Oh, or he lives in the Midwest somewhere, I think.
Yeah, somewhere on that side. Yeah. And I forget what state he's in.
Frank Fass is one of the original people that imported.
And went to NewCal. And
yeah, he was there.
And he's in the Repatch book.
Yeah.
He's on the Foundation Genetics under the history as well. You can see pictures of them on the island and things like that.
I'm going to pull your website up. Hold on. Keep talking.
But yeah, you can see pictures of them. Bill Love as well, when they were out there photographing. So you can see the fauna that's out there.
I love that they're so into documenting what was out there. So they kind of replicate it here.
Yeah, those are all actually original slides that I got from Philippe, and then I digitally made them so that we could have them available for the site.
That's cool.
I got them all scanned in really nicely.
Yeah.
I was talking to Andrew Gilpin about Frank and Philippe and Alan, and I was asking him kind of what their roles were when they went to NewCal. And he was saying that Frank, his strength was climbing trees and being able to actually catch leeches and stuff.
Yeah.
That was his gift was actually catching stuff.
Yeah, you can get that. He could get the animal.
Yeah, he could climb a tree. He was he was a pro at climbing trees in sketchy circumstances and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess everybody had to have a role.
Like a terror skink or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a crazy name.
Yeah, it's the dominant predator on the island.
I have to see those. I don't know if I have seen those before.
Okay.
Look it up. See if that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. A terror skink or something like that. That's out there.
Terror
skink.
Terror skink or something like that. Yeah.
Sounds scary.
Okay,
Yeah, it
pull
sounds terrifying. I just don't
Yeah.
remember exactly what it was.
Okay,
But it's something like that.
at some
it
point
really?
I'll pull it
Yeah.
up.
And Google
Like, that's the
everything.
thing that I remember. Terror skink.
Yeah.
So back in the day, like we didn't have smartphones, right? We weren't Googling stuff.
I know.
Like,
Now we
fact
can just
check.
like
You have
instantly
to like
fact
write
check
it down. We're
ourselves.
gonna fact check
Oh,
when we
yeah.
get home.
Okay, here we go. Tell me what you see here. Okay, terror skink.
That's it. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that thing's
It
awesome.
is a terror skink. I got that right.
Is it a
Oh,
boreal?
Terror skink.
No, it's not. It doesn't look to be.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Wait,
But...
this is
I
what
think
looks
it
like.
is. They were finding them in trees.
Oh yeah,
But they
look
said
at the
that they were,
photos are in
they were
trees.
very like rare to see. Who saw them? Dave saw them when he went.
Oh,
Did
there's
he?
a
I
picture
think
of
so. I
it.
think he made
Oh,
a
look,
video.
there's a
Yeah,
picture right there.
right as you said it. That's
Yeah.
cool. Terror skinks.
Interesting.
So these guys terrorize
Random facts.
the.
We're just gonna throw out facts for you.
Yeah.
They're probably responsible for eating all of the crusted's tails.
Oh no!
Honestly, right? Like if you saw that thing coming,
That
I'd
and
drop
birds.
it, dude.
That's funny.
Beaks.
That's cool.
That's
So
cool.
you guys have a lot of different types of reptiles, I'm assuming, in the house.
I'm addicted. I
Yeah.
want everything. Anthony's
Yeah.
the one who's just like, I just stopped.
Stay small. Stay small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did
Do
you
you guys-
know?
Is everything in your house? Do you guys have a facility to house all your animals?
No, we have a house right now. We're
Okay.
looking for a place to purchase with a bunch of land, and
Okay,
we
yeah.
plan to
Yeah.
turn it into like a facility, full-on facility for people to come
Yeah.
visit,
We have
spend the
reptiles
night, kind of thing.
everywhere. Like
Yeah.
the tegus in the summer live outside, so they have
Yeah.
like big enclosures outside.
Yeah.
They're broodmating in the living room right now. We have some of our spiny tails in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
We have a warm room, so like all the hot animals, like all the spiny
Temperature hot.
yeah, like they
Okay.
not venomous, no,
Yeah.
but like temperature hot. We have like all the lizards in one room, and then we have the geckos in their other room. So they've literally just dominated the house.
Yeah.
And then we have like bugs too, and
Insects.
What kind of bugs? Like tarantulas and isopods? And
No.
No.
just
Feeders. Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
feeders.
breeding a lot of feeders or no?
Dubias, crickets.
Yeah,
The
they breed the
dubias.
dubias.
The dubias are insane. Like you get a
Yeah.
box of 1,000, you leave them there, and then you have like 10,000.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need to get some dubias
Yeah.
from you. I have a box, but then I keep picking from it, so I'm not allowing it to like flourish. So
So
you
I
should
have-
make some
yeah.
medium so that they can lay their little eggs in them.
Yeah.
yeah.
And just
Mm.
warm enough, so they're like really prolific when it's warm.
Yeah, you get a ton of them, to be honest.
Crickets, you're saying?
No,
The
dubias. You like if
Oh,
you
dubias.
set
We
up
have
the
crickets, though.
bins correctly, yeah. But we do
Yeah.
crickets, dubias, mealworms.
Dubias go
Hornworm.
crazy.
Yeah. I feel like
That's-
once you start feeding them dubias regularly, then they grow pretty quick. The
Yeah,
geckos, like,
the growth
explode.
rates
We
are
actually did a
pretty-
study on that.
Oh, did
Oh,
you?
yeah,
On
we did.
dubia
Yeah.
versus crickets?
Yeah.
Where? Is it on your?
Dubia. No,
Dubia-
it's a dubia. And
It's on our website under
Oh,
info.
man. You guys got everything.
Study.
Where did
Like
my?
it's
It's actually-
So
completely
give us
published and
give
everything.
us the cliff notes. What
Yeah, give us
what's
cliff
the
notes while I pull
what's
it up.
the
It's
the
Rapashi
short?
versus Pangea versus insect and papaya mix.
No, it's like
like just blended up papaya and dubia?
yeah. So we did a natural diet versus the commercial diet to see
Mhm.
what the growth rate was.
Yeah, just go under info
Okay.
and
Care
then
guide?
care guide,
Okay.
and then scroll down. Keep going. Research. Cal Poly Pomona Animal and Veterinary Science Study. And then it was published in the journal publication of FASEB.
Oh wow.
So right there
Nice.
you can see like the
Okay.
full
Sweet.
thing.
Okay. So
But yeah,
people can,
I mean,
people can
we
know to
took
go in.
all of our animals from our collection. We paid for everything in the study, and then got it published. And
Wow.
and you can see growth rate differences. And yeah, it was a short study, but for the most part, we continued it here at the house. But yeah, you can see a big difference between growth rates and stuff. Jessica
Okay.
makes her own food now, for the most part. To be honest, like
Oh,
For
we
the
still do
geckos?
Rapashi, Pangea, like every insect that you can think of, and then also Jessica makes her own food. So
Nice.
do you guys blend in
Yeah.
a lot of insects into your food?
Yeah, Yeah, because the dubias get too big and then nothing
Yeah.
can eat them. So I gut load them and I put them in the food.
And just blend them.
Okay, that's smart.
Yeah,
That's
so we
smart.
have like a blender for just the geckos because I mean,
And then the worst part when you blend dubias, if they're too big, is like their little like shoulder patches clog up your squirt bottles.
yes.
There's like
Gross.
one
I
part
have
of
like
them
a wooden
that's
chopstick.
like there's like one part on their backs, like where there's these like little like armor plates on their shoulder blades that just no
Yeah.
matter how much you blend the food, it does not matter. They don't
Yuck.
break down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, before we started blending them in the food, we told a friend of ours about the study, and we were like, we blended the natural diet, which we meant we blended the fruits because when you blend papaya, it's like a gel. It turns into like a gel.
Yeah.
It holds really well. So we told her that, and she was like, I felt so bad. I'm like, why? She's like, I threw all the dubias in there and they all died. We're like, we never told you to blend the dubia. We said blend the fruit. And then we kind of were like,
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, we're like,
It's a pretty good idea. Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried it and it works amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, growth rates go through the roof when you're doing the right regimen, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah. I think just getting a good amount of insects in on any diet will just amaze anyone.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not feeding insects and you're just feeding a commercial diet, the growth rate difference is huge. And just the quality of, I don't know, I just think the animals are so much healthier. They actually have
I agree.
live food versus only
Their
protein from
skin,
like
their
wet
fat
air.
content, everything goes up significantly.
Same with the spiny tails.
Coloration,
The
I mean,
iguanas.
you see a big difference.
Yeah. So could you tell me a little bit about just, I guess, the progression of the gecko collection? I know you had said kind of maybe one of the first or early on in animals was that brick red kind of pinstripe. Was there kind of a starting point that you were really interested in, and kind of walk me through the development of that? I'd love to kind of hear where the geckos maybe started and then the journey of like to where you are today as far as the morphs you kept. And
so I got in
stuff.
pretty early myself. I had crested geckos in early 2000s. I bred them, I think in 2003, produced a couple of them. And then I started like noticing differences between different phenotypes, obviously. Like I went to try to get multiple. Like I went for like the phantom colored ones. I went for the buckskin ones, and then I went for a yellow and a red and a black
the phantoms
face.
weren't called phantoms yet.
I don't know what
They're kind of just like
patternless or bicolors.
Yeah, they were patternless.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted like a variety just to see how it worked, because back then I was totally into ball pythons and leopard geckos. So like, the genetics back then were heavy in those two animal species. But yeah, that's what I went for. I went for like diversity. And then since Alan and it was so local, I got to like cherry pick animals and stuff from whenever he was at shows. And then I got out of it for a year in 2006. And then 2007, when I met Jessica, we just started rebuilding it all back up.
So you sold all your animals in 2006?
Let's see. I have some animals still from 2007. Like we have a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the majority of our collection grew between 2007 and 2010. And we still have a ton of original breeders. Yeah. And we got to hand pick a bunch of animals from Alan as well in 2010.
So when you got back into it, your first gecko that we bought together was actually from Rami.
Oh yeah, it was from Rami.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And we still have him.
That was before he had the Reptile Super Show.
Wow, that's so crazy.
He had the Super Show, but he did it in San Diego, I think.
Did he? Oh, maybe.
Yeah. But he still had a shop in San Diego, so we had to go pick it up at the shop.
Yeah.
So we still have him. We bought him as an adult. He was like 3 already, I think. He was already breeding, so he was like 3 or 5.
I think he was 5.
He's so old. Like, have you guys seen geckos age? Like, I never.
Did they get so wrinkly?
I mean, our collection right now is getting, it's aging. So it's kind of a bummer to see your old breeders that you've started off with.
Yeah, and now they just look like all wrinkly and sad.
Yeah, exactly. All you can do is just give them a good life, and just keep
Yeah.
feeding them.
He wants to breed
But
still.
But
But he's like, he can't even move that fast. And the girls are like, no.
Ira?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he's too old. He
Yeah.
can't even
He
move that
gets all
fast. He's
excited
just an old
and then he
man.
like slowly like licks back there.
Yeah.
I love him.
So you kind of started with base colors, right? Did a morph emerge like pinstripes or Dalmatians or tigers or any of that early on?
Yeah.
As far
Actually,
as what you
in
were focusing on?
the Pangea forum, when it was still online, there's actually record of us producing the first 100% pinstripe red.
Oh, nice.
At least we document.
Possibly.
Because people weren't online back
that
then.
had been posted online.
Yeah, so it was like the first time that everyone was like, oh, and then
it was actually it was a post where people were looking for like a 100% red pinstripe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so like it was massive. It was like one of those long ones that were like way.
It was like 87 pages.
Yeah, exactly. And so like we were aiming for one at that time.
Yeah.
So and we produced one that was 100% pin, possible red. It looked like it was red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using a female from AJD Reptiles.
Nice. Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's a good memory.
He's always got to get a shout out like every podcast.
Oh
yeah. He's living his best life down in Florida, like not even worried about geckos, and we're talking about him all the time.
Yeah. We're like, by the way,
talk of the town still.
Yeah.
So the red pinstripes were a thing. What else was kind of on your plate at that point? Lavender.
Yeah. Lavender and
lavender
pins.
There
was some really nice stuff in Canada that was coming out of Doug Healy
and Gecko
Brothel. So we really like those animals. They were pretty advanced. I tried to get some history from that stuff as to like where it came from, and I guess it was just like an early import from Ellen and Philippe back in the day.
Interesting. So it was just kind of like lavender based pinstripes, or what was that?
Lavender pinstripes.
We wanted a solid
pins.
back.
Yeah,
lavender.
Solid back.
So we wanted a lavender. It was before the drippy stuff, so we just wanted the dorsal to be filled in with cream.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, offshoot.
Empty back.
Not the empty backs, but the solid backs. Is there anything going on other than selective breeding to make the back full on like full backed animals that aren't lily whites? Because lily white, I feel like you can get it pretty easy.
Yeah, you can get it pretty easy on lily, but I think it's just selective breeding, to be honest.
Yeah. Just stacking.
It doesn't seem like there's a genetic component. It's just how you're playing with pinstripe and tigering in the animal.
Yeah, just stacking more and more cream dorsal together to where.
Yep. Yeah, we made a ton of them back in the day that were just solidly filled in. Like we hit the goal and kind of moved on to new stuff at that point.
But we wanted really purpley lavender, so we didn't want the brown side. We didn't want the melanin side, like the black, but we wanted something that fired up kind of purple. Yeah. So that's when we started with our Lila.
Yeah, Lila was one of the main ones.
And where do you still have that project going, or is that something that is kind of
going? We have E, which is continuing it.
He's the son of
Lila.
Yeah.
So E's still pushing it. We have some other females. What's her name?
Violet.
And what's the other girl?
We have so many.
Yeah, and they all stem from that project, basically. So
and he always forgets all the names. He's like, remember like 1,000 names.
That's why I have a computer now.
Can't even the animals.
It's all in an Excel sheet.
I used to remember everything, but now it's like, okay, it's a little too much information.
Yeah, you just got to have an Excel, or you got to have like some kind of a document. I have like a running note on my phone, and then I also have a name, like just a note that's just names for future geckos. Yeah, it's like anytime I come up with one.
Oh, just future names that you're gonna name stuff. You just pick from the list.
Well, yeah,
funny.
So then I don't. On the spot.
I've got like 100 names on there, and it's like, oh, this fits that one or that, and some of them never get used, but some of them, you know, it's easier for me.
Yeah, I think for us, it's like the anime that we're watching for the month.
What are we watching right now?
It's just whatever anime you're watching, you just pick a character from that.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, I mean, when you have a bunch of them that you have to name, that you're holding them all back, I'll just like grab a bin and then I'll just look at characters and just name them whatever fits.
Like based
Yeah,
on their like hair color or their like primary
Yeah.
color.
Primary characteristics.
That's cool.
Is there one named Luffy yet?
Luffy?
Oh, Luffy?
Luffy, yeah, Luffy.
Yeah, we have Luffy and Ace. They're both
We do have a Luffy and
very,
Ace.
our very first lily whites.
Yeah, they don't live here though.
They don't live here though, but they have a bunch of their babies here.
Yeah. We have a ton of their babies here.
So, as far as now, what you guys are working on, what would you, if you're going to describe Little Monsters, like as to somebody that's a gecko person, what would you say you work with?
Everything.
So actually everything?
Every single phenotype that I can think of. I mean, that was part of foundation genetics, right?
Yeah.
Like,
But
in
do you
order
have
for us
projects
to
for
really,
everything, or do you just have
Yeah.
like,
we have
Okay.
projects for everything.
okay.
I mean, literally, you could just like scroll and you'll notice that like we have something of everything, and then everything that we have is designed around a project to either prove the gene or prove the combo of genes, and then just mishmash a ton of the genes together to see what you get. That's where you get like our punks and our pandemonium stuff, where it's just, you get strawberry blondes, you get these really tiger reticulated animals that have like red patterning inside of them. It's like every gene that you could mash into a group of them. And then we've refined it where you get like creamsicles and, you get different variants of yellow coloration. But yeah, we kind of had to do that in order to really outline the book and stuff and prove it all out. And I mean, Ellen tells me I'm obsessed. So
That's not a bad thing.
I think.
yeah, no, I know.
Some projects took a really long time because we didn't line breed, right? So we literally drove to other reptile shops, like throughout all of SoCal, like looking for animals. We went on Fauna Classified, looking for something that looked similar.
King snake.
Yeah. So some projects took a really long time.
So what's your stance on line breeding now?
I think it's necessary for some traits because it's not going to be out there.
Or
Xanthics.
Yeah.
I mean, phantom's recessive. Every phantom you make technically is related, and we make a bajillion of them.
To an extent, though, right? Because you do have to outcross to like get the genetic diversity back and kind of start building on the structure. And
do you think that there was a lot of phantom present in the original import?
Yeah.
In visual form or just in het form?
I think in both. If you read the Rhacodactylus book, you'll notice that they I think we even quote it in Foundation Genetics, that the harlequins that were developed came from the phantom-looking brindles and the tigers. So when they bred those out, that's where they got the first harlequins from. But when in Alan's collection, he didn't have the harlequin phenotype.
So who had those? Who got those?
I think they were imported into Florida when I asked him.
Okay. The original like harlequin stuff or flame stuff?
Yeah, but the ones that they developed in-house came from those like phantom-looking animals.
Interesting.
Where they bred the phantom. I guess they just bred the phantom out, which is where you see the pattern start to emerge.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense because if you breed two Harleys together and they're both het phantom, then you produce phantom. You see the pattern go away all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So
interesting. And you had mentioned
there's like little things in the book that if you read it and kind of pay attention, you pick up on things like that. Like,
I have my copy over here. I got my copy back in probably like what year did it publish?
2006.
2006. I probably got mine like 08. Here, you talk for a second.
I'm gonna grab
copyright 2003, actually, yeah. 2006 was a symposium. That's what I'm thinking of.
So who wrote this book? Is a collection of
so Alan Rapashi, Philippe, and Frank.
Okay. It's called Foundations. Can you lift it up to the screen just so we can
Rhacodactylus.
The Rhacodactylus book.
Rhacodactylus, okay.
Sure.
Nice. Can you buy that on Amazon?
No, they cost like an arm and a leg now.
Oh no.
All right, I don't have it up here.
Sometimes you can find it on Alan's website.
Oh yeah, actually, you might be able to find it on his page still.
Yeah.
Did you see Harry? Kevin Fireside found one at Goodwill
No.
in like the town I grew up in. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
That's funny. Did he buy it?
It definitely wasn't mine. Yeah, I bought it for like $5 or something.
Oh man,
It's ridiculous.
Sometimes you can find them at the auctions after reptile show.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Ours is so old. I mean, now it's
pages
falling
are falling
apart and stuff, but we got some new ones.
Nice. That's awesome.
library.
We have a backup one, and then we have a signed version that doesn't see the light of day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's like in a glass case. You keep it in your bedroom.
Yeah.
It's got all three of their signatures. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
never
nice.
opening
That's
that
awesome.
book. Yeah.
So we had mentioned Xanthic. Are you guys working with Xanthic? Is that something you have a
Yeah.
project for?
Jess, you
We
just
are
got
now.
one, right?
Yeah.
We held off for a really long time.
You just got one at the
But we
show.
just
At the
we
last
just
show.
got one, yeah.
What did you get? Tell me about it.
A visual Xanthic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, we
it's
got
pinned.
it from our friend.
Oh yeah, we
Pen?
got it from
Lychee Garden. Yeah,
Lychee
and
Garden,
it's a
okay,
mix
Shane.
between the manatee and altitude exotics.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wait, is it
So
unsexed?
it's
Is it
a
really
pinstripe
tiny?
animal.
Pinstriped with some patterning. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it a lot.
Pull him. I
Nice.
left him in the room. I was going to show you guys.
Okay, yeah.
I left.
Yeah. we wanna
Is
see
it
It's nice.
so it's a
pitch
male?
black animal too, and it's a male.
It's
Yeah.
a male, yeah.
Nice. So what's your kind of immediate plan for that animal? What are you
To
going to
grow
breed
it out.
into?
It's little.
Oh,
it grow for
it's
you.
really small. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like 6-7 grams, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
Sweet.
that.
It's funny because it was for sale on my table
It
at the last
was.
show,
Hmm.
Oh, really?
and then I bought it. Yeah. Along
Looks
with the
good, I'll
Lily
buy it.
Xanthic and everything. So I took it to the show to sell it for him,
Oh,
and then
nice.
Okay.
and
Okay.
then I bought it. So yeah, it's kinda
Yeah.
I originally wanted to get into Black Knights. And then I saw this Xanthic at our table, and I was just like, I don't
Maybe we
want
should do
it.
that.
I don't wanna have it. And I saw it all weekend, and I was like, I don't want to send it back. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to keep
Yeah.
it.
Well, you can get like 5
Yeah.
Black Knights for an Xanthic. So
Yeah, exactly.
You
so I
could
was like,
you could still get
a
both.
group of them? Or...
That's
This is
I'm,
true.
I'm actually semi looking for Black Knight too. Just
Are you?
Oh,
casually
get you
looking,
one.
you know.
we can get them.
You let me know.
Okay.
Because
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
get some in probably March, I believe. So if you
Nice.
want one, yeah, let me know.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'll talk with you guys later.
So you guys are going to breed Xanthics. What else do you have going on that's newer? I know we talk about empty backs a lot on the podcast. Are you guys working pretty heavily with that? I know you
We have
have
some
one
fun.
to maybe show us.
Well, give me the yellow. This is
Let me
it.
see
Is this
if
head empty back?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's head empty
And
back,
it's a
super soft.
skin.
Nice.
It's
Yeah, let's see it.
nice.
But it is a hat.
It's so velvety.
Should have brought the super version.
It's so pretty.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we want to see the super one if you have it.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, and I should have grabbed the super stripe.
Let's see
There
if you
were
can see
so
him.
many geckos to pick.
We want to see them all, Jeff.
Can you see him up close?
Yeah.
He's in the middle of a
He's
shed too right
he's
now.
zoomed in.
Let's see his back.
Let's see.
Let's see his back. There you
Let me
go.
see if I can put him over here.
Throw him
Oh,
in the log.
speaking of,
Yeah, let me zoom you guys up so you guys have a better shot here.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty animal. So that's
Yeah.
a super soft head empty back.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's awesome. Did you guys produce that one?
Ooh, look at this yellow one.
he's so upset. He's wagging his tail at me.
Here, let me grab him. Oh yeah, he's going wild.
Wild boy. Keep your tail, man.
Don't throw your
You're gonna see a tail drop live, maybe.
No.
Hopefully not.
Feel
Alright,
free to
well,
not show
grab
us.
Yeah,
He went that way.
Did you go?
Oh, he's gone.
that's okay.
See
I got
ya,
him.
he's gone.
He took off on us.
Oh yeah, he's pretty. I
That
like
way
that.
you can see a good video
that-
of him on our.
Is that super
Instead.
soft as well?
Yeah.
Wow,
Nice,
I like it.
pretty, super pretty.
So now that you guys did the talk with the
Here, I'll
gilpins,
trade you.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Wild boy over here.
remember the gilpins?
What?
About that empty back you really wanted?
Oh yeah. I was talking to them
From
about that
LGP.
little- Yeah. No, the one from Alan.
Oh, they didn't have the
Ooh.
animal though, right?
No, they didn't.
But they had a
did
picture
take
of it.
pictures
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That
this one
animal's
is
pretty
actually
sweet.
out of Alan because Alan couldn't find that original gecko when we
Yeah.
went. So he was like, "Oh, but I have this one."
This is the one we found in 2010 at his facility.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have
Nice.
you been making like super empty back stuff for a long time?
We've made a few, but we didn't focus on that part of the project like a crazy amount. But yeah, we've made them and sell them. And hold on, let me switch my camera back.
Nice.
So we had stuff that we didn't know would make it. It kind of just had
we had
like
hets.
a unique looking pinstripes, and so we paired the two lookalikes together, and we ended up getting empty bag and super stripes from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole thing kind of like comes together, kind of thing with how we describe it with empty back and super stripe.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that because I still don't. I know we've talked about it 8 different times, you and I. I still don't understand it.
What is
I
it?
know we've talked about the concept of epistasis and how one maybe relies on the other to show. But have you learned anything else maybe about super stripe versus empty back? That have you kind of nailed that down anymore? I know it's still kind of up in the air a little bit.
So everybody who breeds them, when they're het to het kind of thing, you get a phenotype spread of all of them. So you'll get
of super stripe and empty back, and
you get super stripes, you get het empty backs, you get het empty backs, you get het super stripes, which are recessive. But if they're het empty back, then you kind of get like a little bit of a marker. You get that like V shape at the top of the neck sometimes. A lot of them have that, but not all of them, I noticed, have it.
Yeah, they don't all have it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But a lot of them do tend to. So I'd say at least 50% or more, maybe, which is kind of interesting. But the fact that everybody that's breeding like het super stripe to super stripe or something like that ends up producing eventually an empty back at some point. So it makes sense when breeders say that, like, oh, they're the same thing. If it's epistatic, then the gene has to be there in order for them both to present. One of the genes at least has to be there in order for them both to present equally, kind of thing.
So which one do you think is the main player? Is it empty back or super
I think it's
stripe?
empty back.
Okay.
I think it's empty back, and then because you have a het and a super form clearly with empty backs, and you can continuously make them if you're breeding just empty backs. When you introduce the super stripe,
the modifier? Like what is
it'd be
like
super stripe, basically.
So can you have super stripes that are not empty backs?
I don't think so. Hence epistasis.
But the hets.
So the gene has to. So empty back has to be present for super stripe to be passed on, basically.
But what is super stripe?
It's just a gene that only acts when empty back is present in the animal. Okay. It's like if you have a try, right? You can't get a try unless you have both colors.
Yeah.
To describe it, kind of thing. So unless both are present, then you can't get. Well, it seems like you can't get a super stripe currently.
Okay, that's interesting. Do you think that was just kind of like? Do you think that, like, as far as you know, I mean, obviously there was that animal back in, what would it have been, 07, 08, 06, 07 that Alan had, that was what I would say was a empty back.
Yeah.
When is the first?
Since the day I saw it. So since basically the Gilpins took that photo.
That's where our project for it started, was because we're like, well, we can't find it, so how can we replicate it?
And I couldn't replicate that look ever, no matter what I did.
Yeah.
And so
what do you think the origin of super stripe was? Like
super stripe I kind of ignored for a while. Right. And then I was mostly focused on just the empty backs until we started producing super stripes and empty backs at the same time.
From the same pair.
And then we had another pair that did the same thing. And then we crossed those pairs and we still got the same results. And then if you take those pair apart and you breed them to non-hets, you don't get it.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, and then I reached out to Hannah and Amanda and I asked them to contribute results. And so they had the same data that I had with their phenotype spread. And I talked to Caponetto about this before I even talked to them about it, and he had the same results. And then I told him about just empty back, and like the only way that it can be explained is if the genes are correlated in this way, which is epistasis. It's the only way I could have made sense of it to produce the phenotype ratio that we were seeing across everybody's collection. And so then he paired up a ton of groups and stuff and started producing like some wicked looking empty backs that he had in his collection as well. And so he then added more data to what we had, and that just seems like the most likely explanation currently. It could still be wrong, but it seems like if you have 3-4 breeders that are producing all the same results, then it's
that
a
makes
little bit more
sense.
conclusive at least.
So when you see those like those super nice super stripe examples, so say like some of the ones that Greeks has, or some of the ones that like Flawless and Butler have, is that coming from are those animals het empty back? Like could they be super form empty back,
empty back and homozygous super stripe?
So that's the combo. It's super empty back.
I believe so.
And homozygous,
because when you breed two of them together, your results come out like almost 100, pretty much 100%.
Okay.
And that's what Amanda and Hannah are both getting.
Okay. Yeah.
But you only get the spread when you breed hets into the mix, which makes sense because now you only have one gene. That's being contributed from one of the parents. And then if you map it out like in a table, you get those. You're supposed to get those results.
But if you do empty back to empty back, can you do super stripe?
I haven't seen one.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Because
I haven't seen
I've
that.
seen.
You haven't seen what? Empty to empty and get a super stripe?
Yeah. And maybe people are confusing the difference between an empty back and a super stripe if they're getting those results.
There's a lot of that.
Which is super easy to confuse if you have like a lower expression of one or the other.
Yeah.
But that's why I tried to outline it as good as I could in the guide. Like you can read the full explanation there because it's kind of long. I think it's like a total of 4 pages of reading, and then you got like a bunch of animal pictures to show it.
I just think there's still, I mean, and obviously we're talking about it still, but I think that there's still some confusion out there. I see in like the marketing world of like, oh, this is an empty back, and it's a super stripe.
Yeah. I mean, there's even some people that'll just confuse the pinstripe for it as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of het empty backs and het super stripes, obviously, but we can't see that. But there's a lot of het empty backs out there just not being recognized at all. So.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that.
So on our Instagram, you can look at Pride and Lust, and those were the pairing that we did to make the super stripe and the empty backs, and they don't look like het EBs at all. Like they have a distinct look for them. So I think that's the key to making the super stripe is that you need to have something that looks like that. Because empty back to empty back, I've never made a super stripe.
Interesting.
Yet. I mean, we're still
like
studying it all.
Super to super is what you're saying, or even
super to super empty backs. You make a bunch of empty backs.
Empty backs, but super stripe, I don't think so.
I've never seen a super stripe pop out of the empty backs that we're pairing currently.
So you need to actually get an empty back animal, a visual super stripe animal, and then if you breed that to a super empty back, you'll get a mix at that point.
Yes. Yeah, you'll get a mix. You should get a mix.
Stripe.
You'll probably get a bunch of het super stripes. You have your the other animal.
The EB has to be het.
Yeah, het for super stripe.
Okay.
They have a distinct look for them, like where there's color in between their dorsal, like right in the middle, but they're like, it's not quite pinstripe, but it's like the pattern is very thick on both stripes, and that to me has been proving out to be super stripe for us.
Yeah,
interesting.
So even Paris, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna make a super stripe. He's like, no, you're dreaming. I'm like, no, watch. When they're ready, I'm gonna do it, and then they prove out every time.
Yeah, that's cool.
So.
And then another thing I've seen the difference is the color of the pattern between the pinstripes on empty backs versus super stripes. It seems on empty backs, it's almost always the base color of the animal. and
Yeah.
and on
The
super
super stripe,
stripes
it goes dark.
it goes dark. Yeah,
Yeah.
regardless. So like there's yellow super stripes that have brown lines
Yeah.
down the back, and it's like
Yeah.
that animal doesn't have that color anywhere else
Yeah.
on it.
That's correct. Yeah,
What
yeah,
about
yeah.
pinball though?
Okay, so pinball's a weird one.
Show that yellow or orange super stripe on Greeks, Harry.
This one?
It's like it's pretty distinct. I think no, it's like yellow or orange base.
Where's the yellow? This yellow orange base.
You'll find it.
I know it's been a while.
So we did make a C2 basically version of it.
There it is,
So
Harry.
That was like the
pinball
first thing
looks like a cream on cream super stripe. Oh yeah, there you go. Look
This
at
is
that.
the animal
looks
that
like some of the
this is
ones
like a
that-
dream animal for me. I love that.
That's beautiful. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
And that's a yellow base. That's like
Yeah.
perfect.
But
Yeah,
that
yellow base.
color, that stripe down the
Yep.
back, that is not a color present on that animal in any
No.
significant way.
Yeah, that's really wicked cool. Yeah.
So that would be an example of just
The
it's
super
a
stripe.
yellow super stripe, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yellow super stripe. I mean,
so
and the
that-
fact that you can make them in every
Color.
color variant as well
Yeah,
is really
That's
unique.
so cool. Have we seen
And-
super stripe lily whites that are like bold?
I have a bunch of hets because once we got all excited about it, we started
Mm,
breeding it to lilies.
breeding it to lilies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oint has
Caponetto.
one.
Oint has one. Yeah.
Yeah,
June?
June has one.
At Oint
I
Reptile
have
has
seen
one.
that. Yeah. I have seen
Which
that
is pretty
animal.
neat.
I wish that Lily didn't cream out the back so much where like it would actually let some of this stuff shine through better. But
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens when we try to produce the super variant. So
yeah, I'm really
it
excited
should
for
be pretty
that.
cool. Because
That
all the lily
honestly-
hets that we have, we noticed that there's like a darkening dorsum. They have
Yeah.
a darker head, kind of like what you see with like the Frappuccino, where like there's less white patterning.
Yep.
The laterals are more subdued. Let me see.
I
I
actually
didn't know
realized
about
It's
that. So
Where's that
blown
man?
out.
too blown out.
Yeah.
super
on our
blown out.
Instagram though. But
What's
it's
your Instagram?
his name is
Okay.
Pinball.
pinball.
Send it
Okay,
to
I'll
me.
look
We'll check it out.
for it.
But
Yeah,
it's like a cream on cream version.
how does the quad play into empty backs? Is it pretty?
I mean,
prominent?
they don't all come with quads, like
Oh,
perfect,
okay.
wonderful little stripes. You know, some of
Okay.
them are broken up, but it still orients pattern horizontally across the animal.
Got it.
And then you also notice that like it smooths out the pattern quite a bit too.
And
Like,
it
you lose a lot of
reduces
tigering and
patterning
reticulation.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
see.
Especially on the laterals. All the super EBs that we have, the laterals are all faded out. They don't have a
Mm.
ton of like harlequin on the legs
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, they're like almost
Nice.
just stripes and base color and maybe a tiny bit of color on the legs and stuff, but not
Yeah.
much.
I think that'll be interesting to see if we can actually push it into it. with
Yeah, if you
system.
breed highly patterned enough animals, if you can keep some of that.
Drop his tail.
I gotta look for pinball. I don't know if I'll be able to find.
Did a
pinball.
gecko drop its tail?
I said this one might if he keeps
Oh, okay,
going
maybe-
wild.
I hope not.
Maybe
You
don't
better
pull 'em
look.
out.
Don't freak it out. It's
Oh.
okay. No worries. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Can I ask you guys a question that we did not preface, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
How
sure.
did the Pomona sable thing go?
In what
as-
way?
as
Like
far
the
as, like-
sales portion or like
Well, not the sales things, but just like
adoption of,
the
like the trait.
yeah, just like the High and Moo coming and like Oink being there, June being there, and just like kind of all the hype kind of around Sable and that show. How did that end up playing out? Was there a lot of excitement there? Was there people that
I
were
think
like,
it was a lot of excitement
I
between the
think
breeders.
You should point out that the Super Show is different than like
That's
Tinley.
true.
I know it's
So
not
It's
as
not like
big.
a
It's
it's
breeder
not as-
conference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a different like demographic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's a
But
really good
within
point.
the breeders that went, we're really excited to see them in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the
So
breeders
within the
came by and
breeder-
were
yeah.
totally interested because we also had super caps,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
cappuccino. We had a lily, exanthic, sable, luwak, super
Yeah.
sable,
Wow.
empty back, punks, and monochrome.
How
So
much
we
was
were
it?
trying to we had a little section
A little
that was
sampling.
just displaying, yeah,
Was it
of every
for,
single
Show and
gene.
tell.
Was it just for display? It was display, not on sale.
Yeah, Yeah, we had the Exanthics there for sale and the
Got it.
cappuccino,
Yeah.
but everything else for the most part was there for display and for people to kind of just check out.
Yeah. I see you guys.
So that way they could just see the difference between different traits. What happens when you add one trait to this one? What happens if you take it away? This is what the phenotype changes. So stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there was a good amount of excitement for just kind of seeing everything laid out. Yeah, I mean, where else could you see all those genes in one spot, right? I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That
awesome.
was Anthony's baby. Like,
Yeah, I was like, I'm
everyone
gonna
in.
make this a nice display. At least everybody can see every
Nice.
gene that we have in the market, kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
But that's another thing that we've been working really hard on is getting everyone to talk and communicate and be a community and and like,
that's what we're all about too.
That's so
Absolutely.
great.
I know,
that
I love
people really were like, yeah, that's such a great idea. Let me entrust you with these like really expensive animals, to display and take care of. So
That's awesome.
yeah, feel really honored for the trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
You
cool.
can show this one off now. He's a little calmer.
He's chilled out a little bit.
Jessica wants you guys to see this yellow.
Yeah, so the Sakura project, we ended up breeding to like a really creamy yellow, our vanilla boy. That's a little blown out.
He's all blown out, isn't he?
Because he's just too yellow.
Yeah,
Yellow
he's
and
pure
too
white.
bright.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the
highest.
highest white pattern
Let me
yellows
do
that we
this.
have that hasn't like turned yellow at all.
And his whole face is yellow. But he's not happy being out here.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's a nice one.
That's cool.
AJ's
Yeah,
all
he's
about the yellows.
gorgeous.
That was really nice.
This is from our Sakura group in pairings.
Yeah,
Where
so
I don't know if you've seen her, AJ. I think I've shown you to her.
Yeah,
shown her
yeah.
to you once, twice, right?
Yeah, she's super nice.
So going back to like our original stuff that we started working on, we got Sakura in what, 2008, 2009?
Something like that. We found her
Based on when you were watching Naruto, right?
Actually, it's based off the tree. The Sakura
literally just a tree.
I was
The
like,
one.
I didn't watch Naruto.
I'm like trying to think about what show were you watching in 2008?
Dude, that's so funny because that's what I thought too. I was like, oh, people are gonna think it's Sakura from Naruto.
Yeah, Brian even messaged us like,
Brian.
I hate that character.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, I think it's better later on." He's just
He's
like,
a hater.
She's
I'm like, well,
she's
that's
pretty
not
bad
what
for a
the
while
became.
though.
A little bit annoying.
Sakura's a pretty old animal. I think we got her in 08. But it was some breeder that posted up 2 pictures of like an all white animal that never like fired up to show
Ooh.
coloration.
A moon glow.
Basically, but it wasn't a moon glow because the moon glows were gray back then.
Yeah.
They were animals that when they did fire up, they would turn gray.
Yeah.
So this is her daughter, like most fired up I've ever seen her.
Yeah, she's wild
She's
looking.
usually like really white.
Let's see if you can see it. Oh, she's going wild.
They're just not having it today.
No, there's too much light.
They're like no show and tell for you
Yeah,
guys.
okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
Let's see.
Oh, that looks really yellow though. That is not the case here.
Yeah, she's
Look at
totally
this
blown out
What
the
the
camera
heck?
for some
She's like
reason.
neon.
Okay.
I mean, we're neon.
Radioactive.
But, like back up a little bit for white balance.
Yeah, right.
I'm not down to like neon right now.
She's going
That's cool.
crazy right now. She's all fired up.
So yeah, that's actually what took us so long is that we couldn't replicate it because we never line bred it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're thinking
so
of crossing it at
We've
some point.
tried. We actually did cross it.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's
Oh,
the
is that
closest
Fang?
we've gotten.
Oh.
Yep. That's gonna be like yellow right now. It's gonna be like
No, love it.
neon.
We think genetically they're technically like a yellow animal. Genetically.
That's like super saturated.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not coming out on camera at all.
Mm.
It's
It looks
pretty.
like it's glowing.
It's all right. We'll send you the pictures.
Yeah, I'll send you pictures.
We can plug them in later.
Yeah.
Actually,
This
we
is
don't
not
have
working
time.
out.
We don't have time to plug them in. We won't be able to see it for this one, but it's okay.
Okay, we won't plug them in this time.
You won't, like,
we'll,
we're
we'll
not-
post them.
On
We'll
our
post them in our
Instagram, yeah,
stories.
We're all
We'll post them
labeled under the
tomorrow,
Sakura
yeah.
project, so
You
I
guys
spent
can
a lot
post
of
them in your
time
stories.
Figuring out how to take accurate photos back in the day.
yeah.
Color accuracy is really important to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's like the tangerine spread right there of like what you see when you
Yeah.
have tangerine
Yeah,
from like the
speaking of
most
that-
extreme to like basically a little bit in the middle, and then none on the far right. That's actually the yellow of the male that I just showed you guys.
Oh, nice.
The one on the far left.
Yeah, very cool.
This is Metallica. I don't know if you can see him there.
Oh, he's cool.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
He's got like a really wicked dark patterning on his head.
Oh yeah, he's super cool.
Nice.
That's one of the girls on the picture.
Oh yeah,
Her
this is the
sister
same girl in that
sibling
picture.
to it.
Oh yeah, let me pull it up. Hold on.
She's more like a creamsicle color. She's like blown
my
out
hand
in
is even
yellow.
yellow.
And
Yeah.
Right there. How many? Do you guys have like a ton of projects? I mean, you do have a ton of projects.
so
But,
many projects.
How many adult cresteds do you think you have?
Like 200.
Oh,
Breeding?
No, I'm not going to do them all at the same time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
your house would be you'd be swimming in it for sure.
Let's see if
let's
this
see.
works at all.
Yeah, right there, and then put your
Yeah.
palm over behind it or something. Yeah,
Creamsicle.
Yeah,
that's
that's cool.
nice. That's cool.
Nice. So, my last question for you guys here in this section. I'm just curious, both of you individually, what projects of your own are you most excited about for this year? What is kind of like the thing that you're like, you know, you're just thinking about like, oh man, I can't wait. Is it the empty back, the super empty back lily whites? Is it, you know, what is the thing?
I can't pick the most, but I can pick a few.
Okay.
So one of them
you
is
can pick 3.
Okay, 3. All right, I'll do 3. I can.
You can do 5. I don't care.
Okay. Have you seen our punks animals?
Yes.
Okay, so those, but we want to do lily versions of them.
Okay.
And then, so we have some really nice phantom lilies that we want to cross that are going to be tangerines and stuff.
Cool.
So we want to cross those guys into it. Let's see if you can see them.
Yep.
So these guys,
Yep. Those are cool.
phantom punks. And then we want to do
You have to
phantom
see the
punks.
back though.
Phantom
It's
punks
intense.
lily.
Yeah, those are cool.
They're really
I'll make
wicked
it.
in person. Like they're pitch black on the dorsum, and then it's just bright orange.
Yeah,
Like
that's
kind of like
very
a
cool.
Halloween, but like a phantom
Have you
variant.
made those in other colors? Have you made those in like red phantom?
Well, phantom pushes out a lot of coloration. I don't know if you. I mean, you're familiar with making yellow and red phantoms and stuff. Red kind of comes through, but like yellow washes out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way we can keep this really dark contrast between the black and having coloration is with tangerine. So these are actually out of hypertangerine animals.
Interesting. Okay.
So we can't make red versions of it. Maybe we could at some point, but that would take some significant project time. This is our tiger. Sabertooth. A lot of people like this guy.
Yeah, so that's something I want to breed more of is the bull tigers.
Yeah, those are cool.
It's cool.
It's just
Those from you guys.
But yeah, we have so many projects. I mean, it's like for right now, it's like we have to pick species. We have like these Bakereye that we're pairing up like next week. We have some insane gargs that are all going. We have hypo pink gargs.
I want to make more of these gargs.
Some blotches,
super blotches,
alternas. But for Cresties specifically, yeah, I think our empty backs, super empty backs with
that doesn't show up
with
at
lily
all.
white and lily white punks and some strawberry blondes. I really like strawberry blondes.
Do you guys have lychees, kahua, any of those, New Cal?
We do have Kogus.
I forgot to pull them.
They're big monsters. So those are actually pairing this season for the first time as well.
Sweet, yeah.
So some pure mainland, or not pure mainland, pure Kogus. What else?
Or pines? Pine.
Oh, our chewies. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Chewies.
So many projects.
That's a lot, man.
AJ, how could you ask me such a question?
Yeah, so
That's what I'm here for. Yeah.
for our chewies, I'm super excited because all our chewies are able to breed now. We don't have any babies or juvies. They're all breedable adults now.
Nice.
And all of them are like pastel.
We have some nice white collared ones.
White collar, lime collars.
Really bright greens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
our
Deep, rich colors.
First chewy is actually from Alan. At
Yeah.
the San Diego show. Okay, honestly.
Everything's from Ellen.
I cried. I
The sword.
cried. He wouldn't buy it for me. I was like, I want it was like the most expensive gecko we had ever bought in. We had never spent money like that before. And I was like, you have so many projects. I want a project too. And I cried. I had a fit.
You got it.
I got my first Chewy, and then that's where it started.
Also, the same way that she got all her guards, she cried and had a fit.
I must have it. Yeah.
No,
you love
actually
me?
now,
No?
like, because I do this full time, and he's at work, and so I'll just like get a shipment in, and I'll like set them up, and he just like, you get to the point where you don't even notice it anymore because there's just so many.
What is this one?
And,
I'm being surprised all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did this gecko come from?
Sometimes
Yeah,
we'll see Jess bid on
me.
the auction, and then
Dude,
it's
me,
you
Jess.
guys need to ban her or just ban me, ban my account, like block me completely.
You gotta take
Because-
that up with her, not with me.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, you are the one with banning power.
Hey, I am CEO.
That's
of
true.
the company.
Jess.
I put my foot down. It's my baby.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
So it must be crazy hard to manage a huge collection. I'm assuming how do you stay organized managing so many things?
I mean, you do it long enough, you get like a nice system and a flow,
Yeah.
and you just
Yeah.
kind of keep going.
Okay.
Adding 20 animals is not so impactful.
So it doesn't feel
because
overwhelming for you
we're
guys.
used to ebbing and flowing from what we hatch out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, you'll have like 400 at one point, and then you suddenly jump to 600 if you don't sell anything for like, 6 months. When we did the study that she did for her when she was in school, she was we had almost 60 of them in that study, I think, and they were all hatched within a week of each other.
I think it was 60 animals
So, like,
total.
Yeah, it was 60
Yeah.
total. And so like they all hatched so quickly that like they were all within like a week or so of each other. So it was really easy to do the study at that point.
Mhm.
But
Wow.
like, you got to be used to, if you have a large collection, eventually you grow slowly so that by the time you get to a larger size collection, you can actually handle
You
that kind of
Mm.
workload, because if you can't, then you're going to have dire consequences. But, we
Mm.
went slow. We've been doing it for a really long time. We didn't just jump into it and buy like, 100 plus geckos. And then we bred like, you breed half of them. And then you suddenly realize how quickly your collection can, triple,
Explode.
quadruple.
Exponentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
I
like
gotcha.
a lot of it is being mindful too of like how many babies you could potentially end up with at the
Yeah.
end of a season. So we don't breed them all at the same time. We'll kind of do like sections of like what we
And
really
we-
want to work with, and
Yeah, and we give them a year or two or something, sometimes more off as well. I mean, we have
Like
like that many
rotations.
breeders, but at the same time, like some of them are backup breeders. We keep the same genetics and stuff like that because, like I said, we still had to keep those projects kind of going in order to analyze the phenotypes from multiple offspring across multiple years, and then test whether or not how genes passed on and how the colors worked and stuff like that, and the combos. So
I gotcha.
but yeah, you get used to it.
So what do you guys, as far as managing a big collection, what are you doing for caging on adults and on juveniles as far
So
as
right now everything's tubs, but
Okay.
we do plan on upgrading. So like I said, we're looking for a house to build a real facility.
Yeah.
And then we plan, because the collection's so large, what we really want to do is we want to have like the entire collection facility offsite on grounds. So multiple acre properties, kind of like we're looking for. We probably
Okay.
want to add like turtles and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have them, but like
Yeah,
it's
it's
one
cool.
of my passions as well. And then like I personally would like to like rehab California desert tortoises and stuff like that. Because
That'd be
Nice.
cool.
yeah, getting my license for that and stuff, because you can't just pick them up off the street.
Mm.
But you can own them as long as you have a license here, and then let them live out their life.
it's like an adoption
Yeah, it's like an adoption thing.
certificate
Yeah.
for like displaced tortoises.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
cool. So are you guys in your tubs? Are you doing paper towel or do you use a substrate? I'm just
towel.
curious how everybody
Actually,
does
with
that.
the barks,
Yeah,
we've played around with it, and
we have tried substrate. I used to
Yeah.
have some custom glass enclosures
Mhm.
that are kind of neat because you can slide these levers out. And so like if you had like a male and female and left and right, the plan was to
Oh,
slide
you
it
can-
out and you can
you can
do a
open 'em up.
pairing by just
So
like
heavy.
literally sliding out and then sliding another little slot in to close it off.
Yeah.
they're heavy.
They're
so
massively heavy. So I
Yeah.
got the guys to redesign it and cut the weight in half with thinner glass and stuff like that. But yeah, I've got a couple of ideas to how to design like a full breeder setup.
Yeah,
so I'll probably be
we
working
want
with
to have-
Dale
Oh
at
yeah,
Tamara.
at Tamara.
Yeah.
So we've talked
They
to
do
him
awesome stuff.
before to
Oh,
just
yeah.
kind of
It's
redo
very
our
good
entire facility. So that's what we're waiting on,
Mhm.
is to just do everything all at once.
That'll be awesome and expensive.
Yeah, but we're at the
I mean, I
point
already have the
where-
money for it, so I've got it all
Yeah.
saved up.
Nice.
So
So
we're
it's
putting
just sitting in the
it
bank
Good.
account right now.
Very
Just-
smart.
Instead of putting it towards like a
the way
little
to do it.
upgrade here, a little upgrade there, we kind of like compiled everything so we can just
Yeah, I build
be
some of the tegu cages and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I take them, I burn them with a flame torch, just
What's
to give
the
it a nice, like
technique
almost like a
called?
patina. I
It's
don't
a
remember. It's Japanese.
yeah, and it
It
preserves
starts
the
with
wood.
like an S.
and
But yeah, it
keeps
preserves the
from-
wood. It doesn't
By
rot.
burning
doesn't
it.
mold. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
It looks really nice too. It looks stained, but it's like safe for the
Yeah.
animals.
I can't remember the name of it. Like Shogu Tan or something like that. Oh, I don't remember.
So, talking about your website, I know you guys spend a ton of time on your website. You have a ton of information. It's not just your animals and your breeders. Give us like a quick rundown of what's on your website, and especially, you guys started the Foundation Genetics for new breeders that are unfamiliar with what it is, without getting too into the weeds. What's the background behind that? What the goal is? How it started, and the work that you guys are doing.
So I design the full website, and I do all the coding and everything for it in the back end.
Yeah.
But what it's mostly designed to provide news, a place to purchase animals, and so it manages all that. And then under the monsters, we have all the crested geckos, so you can look at lineage. All of our geckos come with like an ID code, and so there's a lineage system that works in there. You can see which animals we're pairing that season. And then after that, you have like they're all clickable names. For example, they'll go to some of the animals that are there.
Yeah, that's cool.
It'll outline the genetics of the parents and like a brief description of them. And then if we get them from other breeders, they'll have like the other breeders' logo on there. So like there's some from like Northern Gecko. I haven't added the Anthony Caponetto ones, so I still need to go through those. I think there's a Geckological one on there, but I haven't added the photo of the gecko.
Yeah.
We don't even have all our breeders on there. It's like
Yeah, we still have to
20%.
finish everything
that.
else. There's
It's
a
a
ton
lot
of
of
work
work.
that I still need to do.
There's a lot of work. To
We do have
everything.
under the monsters there. If you go under cresteds, we have projects page.
Yep.
Like a projects overview. So these are some of the projects that we've worked on like over the last like decade, basically.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's
very detailed.
Some of the more common ones that we've like really focused our efforts on, like trying to make something called it's like a creamsicle, but it's got this like really awesome coloration where it's like hues of pink, red, and coral, basically. So citrus, sun coral.
Citrus. Okay.
But they're just project names. They're not like designed for people to like really use them. I mean, you could if you wanted, but
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then you can see that, and then you can see the outline of the animals. So those are the project pages. I plan on updating this all this year, so it's more complete. And we have a really large guard collection, so I have a ton of photos that I have not uploaded. Like the website right now for me is really outdated, but
okay. It's gonna take you like half a year to update it.
Do we even have our chewies on there?
No, all
No
the
chewies.
chewies are saved on my computer. I still haven't updated them, but
You got the guards.
so you're gonna see like once that's done. My goal is to finish this at the end of the year. So it'll be all of our gargoyles, all of our crested geckos, our retired crested geckos, our retired gargoyle geckos, just so people have the history.
Yeah.
All of our chihuahuas, Iridactyloides, our baker eye, our pectinatas, pied and bananas, and then our tegus, because we also breed tegus.
Okay.
So all that's going to be up there. Yeah. And then we also plan on doing a update to Foundation Genetics Part 1 all the way to Part 2.3.
Yeah.
For all the new relevant information that's come out.
Yeah. What is your Foundation Genetics, just a brief outline of what it is for people that don't know?
So that started off as a personal project for me since basically 2005. and it was to outline every single genetic trait that we could control in the hobby, from the most common ones that were kind of like discussed early on, like phantom and yellow base being dominant and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like really early on in like the forums, all the way to where we are now with like advanced animals that are stacked, have a lot of white patterning, or even difficult to tell what color the base is and stuff like that, and like what the combos bring you, like why do we get creamsicles, and genetically what they're made up of. So that's that project. It was originally called the Crested Gecko Codex, and then Tom got involved a few years ago, and he's helped out so much with it, and we renamed it to Foundation Genetics.
Okay.
So that's what that is.
That's cool. So anybody who needs to find any information, this is a wealth of knowledge for them to jump into your website and learn.
My obsession, yeah.
You can actually just type in Foundation Genetics on Google, and it's like
That's the first
it
thing.
just pops up.
Yeah, it just pops up now, which is kind of
And
neat.
then also like a reason for the name too was that when you put in the other one, the Codex, like all these different things popped up.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they were like,
Yeah.
hey, and you named it this, and now it's easy to find.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, more information you guys can go on lmreptiles.com for people that want to learn more.
Yeah.
I like how as the night is getting darker, we're getting like more saturated on camera.
We are.
We are.
AJ's yawning. It's like 12 o'clock.
I
over
think
there.
it's like yellow.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good.
You're hanging in there, AJ?
I'm doing pretty good. I've had to hide
yellow.
I've
I
had
need
to hide
change my
a-
white balance.
It's like
hide a
instead
little
of back,
bit.
it's like Southern California.
You got the glow. Yeah.
It's the
Actually,
golden hour.
It's true. I didn't even change the white balance on this camera. That's why.
Ah.
You look fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you guys are good.
Our geckos didn't look fine. Like,
Your geckos are on
Okay.
fire. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, seriously.
It looks like they're like the surface of the sun is shining on them.
I know, right? It totally did.
That's great. Talking about gecko business, we talk about the hobby, which is the exciting stuff we want to do. All the projects we're working on. I think that's the meat of it. And it's amazing. But in terms of gecko business and business strategy for you guys, what are your long-term goals? So maybe a better question is, what does Little Monsters look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now? I know you guys are looking to kind of build out like a facility and expand even further, right? But what does that look like for you guys?
so our first big task is to retrofit the facility to how we want it, and we kind of want to automate a lot of things like misting, so things go a lot smoother. That way we're able to do because we're not at capacity, we don't breed at capacity, but we could if we streamline some things and hired a person or two. So for the future of Little Monsters, it would be streamlining things and getting the facility up and running and hiring a couple people. That way we can really breed everything.
All the species.
Yeah. So we have a bunch of stuff that's like pending because we don't have the space for it, but we have them.
We have some really nice ball pythons.
Incubating the eggs on species, like we're not there. Yeah. We're like, we have to kind of pick and choose right now. So getting it so we can.
Yeah. Is that pretty soon, or is that a few years down the road?
Oh no, that's like within the year.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, you guys
plus I'm planning to also add like Fantasticus and Mossies as well to the collection. And we have Craspidopus, so I want to breed those.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about those.
I want to get more sailfins because I'm obsessed with them. I am obsessed with sailfins. And we just got a baby Delicatissima, so Lesser Antillean iguana.
Nice. Wow. You guys have so many random things that make sense.
I love that.
You have a lot of cool things
you guys have
unrelated to each other.
You have more animals than a zoo, I feel like.
Well, that's why they have to. That's why they have to build a zoo, because
you have more animals than a zoo.
Oh yeah. It'll basically be called Lil Monsters Ranch. Stick with the LMR kind of thing.
So, are you in the process of shopping for land? Have you found a spot yet? Or
no, we're shopping. We found areas that we might want to pick for property and location.
Okay.
But yeah, we're still shopping around.
Sweet. Can I come
But
visit?
we are working
when,
with a
you guys are done?
realtor. She's so lovely.
Your realtor.
It's been fun and stressful at the same time because it's like, and then like
Yeah.
trying to stay close to LA, but you have to be like in the outskirts of LA or San
Yeah.
Bernardino County to have the amount of land that we want.
Yeah.
And once you start moving away from LA, the climate also changes. So it's like, is it going to be too cold for the tegus?
Yeah.
And how
or too
long
hot.
can they stay outside for? Are we going to have to build a facility where they can stay inside, half outside? So
Yeah. So we're being really picky about the property and the location. So if we find it, then we'll absolutely purchase that spot.
Yeah, no, that's exciting.
Cool. That's super exciting.
I'm gonna invite myself over to visit you guys sometime if that's okay.
Oh, you can stay because we plan on having it so that like people can sleep over. Like
I'll stay at your guest.
You're gonna have a bunkhouse at the ranch.
Yeah, dude, totally. It'd be amazing. It'd be like, oh yeah, you want to come to the Pomona show? You can
that's
stay with
awesome.
us. You know, we've
Yeah,
been
that'd be
there
that's
anyway,
fun.
So yeah, that's the plan. Anyway,
That's super fun.
Yeah,
Love
not too
that.
far from me. It'll be great to visit you guys and say hi.
I have Korean barbecue at home. Like,
Oh, I'm in.
Speaking my language.
Yeah. AJ and I are coming. He's flying over.
we're such foodies too, and we love hanging
seriously.
out and eating. So it's like,
yeah.
I think the biggest shame, like the biggest is like everyone's so far away.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's why we want to have a place where people can just stay for a weekend. They don't have to just drive down for a couple hours and then just leave afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
That'll be cool.
That's the plan. That's the goal.
yep.
That'll be awesome. I think that'll be a good thing for the community too. Like you were saying,
I mean,
surrounding like the shows and the events and stuff, to have a kind of a landing place for people to hang out and kind of have that culture and that community kind of surrounding Southern California and geckos.
S'mores.
We're really, I mean, Jessica and I are both really inspired by some of the work that Ty Park has done out in Florida with the facility at
Iguanaland. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I got to tour the whole facility before it opened with him. He walked me around, showed me all the animals, how they do everything, how to brainstorm, because I wanted to do the same thing, but out here in California.
Yeah.
Maybe obviously on a smaller scale. He's got a lot of land out there, but
and a lot of animals and a lot of staff.
He's got amazing animals out there.
Yeah.
So.
He's got an incredible thing going. It's crazy.
For sure.
Yeah.
From when you guys started to now, how has it progressed in terms of the size of not just your collection, but the operations, or has it maintained pretty steady throughout the years?
It's gotten bigger. So I used to do this part-time, and we used to kind of like share the workload.
Yeah.
But I went to school full-time, and then I was working part-time, and then I was doing Little Monsters at the same time. And it was just, luckily the collection was smaller where it was more manageable, but it's gotten so big that I think it was last year I started doing this full-time.
Okay.
And there's still not enough time in a day, because at the end of the day, you can either go to sleep or you can keep working. And then you're just like, what do I have to do for the health of me so I can keep working tomorrow? And
I know, it's so bad.
and then it's like, I have to pull geckos for him to photograph and put on the website. And then it's like, by then it's like 10 o'clock and we're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You can you can clean forever.
It's not enough time.
No, you could clean or take photos or do any of those, pick any of those things. Any of them could be a full-time job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And then on the weekends too, we're like, can we have a day where we have active lives again? Like hiking. We used to go hiking. We used to do like 20-mile hikes and then just eat pizza at the end of it, you know? But now it's just like, we can do like a 1-mile walk and then go back to work. So it's like kind of like balancing that. I think when I have free time, I want to go work. I want to go look at my animals. I want to go.
She's just a workaholic, so.
So yeah, you nailed it in terms of gecko life and family life. Has it been hard to find and figure out for you guys? Because Anthony, you work full time too, right?
Yeah, I do. So I work in entertainment. So I'm full time, and then I travel here and there, and so the end goal is that I do reptiles full time with Jessica.
Okay.
And then I do a few shows every year.
Yeah. Do you guys just do Anaheim and Pomona shows?
Oh, I meant like shows, my own shows for work. Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we do all the local shows here.
Yeah.
So all the Reptile Super Show local shows.
Okay.
There's smaller shows that were like, it's a lot of work to
It is a
do
lot
a
of
small
work.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's but you guys have a good culture of shows out there. I feel like you have good events, and between like all the Reptile Super shows and now even some of the Reptilian Nation stuff, and there's just a lot of events. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
I feel like there's
remember
another
last time
show. all
Reptilian
the time.
Nation did.
there's one coming up in
They do
We did
February.
a
Vegas,
Reptilian
right?
Nation. Yeah, we did a Reptilian Nation in Victorville. That was pre-COVID, and
That
the
wasn't too
venues
bad.
and the venues kept canceling on them.
Yeah, that's
On
true.
Ryan, yeah. So the venue's like, oh, it's shut down. You can't. And then he's just like, it wasn't something that was sustainable because he had to keep canceling on the vendors too. So
Yep.
Yeah.
that's when it like he spread to so many other places.
Yeah, like I'm doing his show in Florida in like 2 weeks.
It's a
Oh, are
great
you?
show. It was so
Yeah,
much fun when
West
we did
Palm
it.
Beach. Yeah.
So you're traveling all the way down there?
Yeah, I'll fly down and I'll chase a box. I'll ship a box and chase the box.
Gotcha. That's wild. Yeah.
It'll be good. Yeah, it'll be fun. Brett and Gabby are going to go down too. So they're going to drive they're going to take like the lights and all that stuff. Cause they have family down there. So they're going to drive, but they're going to be down there like 4 or 5 days before the show. So to bring the animals probably doesn't make sense just cause it's too long in a box.
Is
So-
that a 2-day drive?
They drive. Yeah. So I'll ship the animals in on like a Thursday and then we'll vend and then they'll drive them back. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Sunday they'll leave and drive
That's
them back.
wild.
That is
Ship
wild.
driving that far, to us, it seems crazy.
Well, from
Yeah.
us probably to Miami, I don't know how long it is. 16 hours, 17
man.
hours or something.
Yeah. Are you guys going to Florafana, Anthony and Jess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Jess already reserved it, so we are going.
Cool. you sound so
Gabby's,
so
like, for setting
excited.
that up and then getting us there. So.
I blame
Okay.
AJ and Gabby for this.
Shout out
We're gonna
to
do
Gabby
this
and
live
Brett.
auction where there's gonna be all these animals that tempt Jess.
No. No.
Speaking of, I just got our basil kits in today.
Oh, there
you
my
go.
God, I'm
Nice.
in love with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
huge thank you to you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I told him too. I like snuck out because I was in the gecko room feeding and like.
Yeah.
And then I was
funny.
like,
What
"Hey,
are you
by the
watching?"
way, I'm sending Gabby money. He's like,
I was like, what's going on? What are you
I was
talking
like, don't worry
about?
about it.
Anthony's
It's
hilarious.
literally what she said, and then she left, and I was like, and I had no information.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
That's
Gecko,
funny.
shut up.
But yeah, you guys will have a blast out in New York. It'll be really fun. It is like the ultimate community event. And it's already probably, if I'm gonna estimate, I mean, we've sold 5 times the tickets we did already. And
Oh,
we're
wow.
still,
So it's
I mean,
growing quickly then.
it's growing very quickly, and the support is massive. So it's going to be a really special thing. So I think
Yeah,
you
And
guys
it's
are going to
my
have a lot of
birthday.
fun. Oh, nice!
Your birthday
Oh,
is it on
yeah.
Saturday?
That'll be awesome.
Like my actual birthday is that weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It'll be just a giant birthday party.
Yeah.
I guess you're gonna have to get her a gift, AJ.
All right.
Gecko.
Yep.
Free
Come by
geckos.
the table. Come by the table.
A gecko gift.
I'll just give you a bag of
Harry, you gonna
frozen
go?
mango and ground up dubias.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
that
be there.
sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. You want
Delicious.
some dude?
There you go.
Yeah, I'll be there, Anthony. So I'll see you guys
Awesome.
there.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
That'd be
Love
cool.
So I heard that you guys are gonna do yoga there with me.
Sure. Yeah. There's anything you could eat s'mores, you could do yoga, you could get a massage, you could go for a hike, you could do
I'm
any
getting
of
a
that
No,
stuff.
I know I can do it. I'm telling you, you guys are doing it with me.
All right. Sounds good.
You have to force us.
So
That'll be good.
the last section I have for you guys, we always ask everybody this advice for maybe new keepers, new breeders of reptiles or geckos, specifically. Just kind of maybe your insight from being in this world for a long time. What would you say are some things that you would kind of pass along from maybe a wisdom standpoint? If somebody came up to you at a show and was like, "Can you kind of tell me, what I need to know about this, what would you tell somebody like that that's kind of trying to learn? Because a lot of the people that watch the podcast are maybe newer to the hobby, so we always like to ask our guests.
I would say watch this podcast.
There you go.
Because
Okay.
it goes through, like,
Oh,
so
that's
many
a good
pictures.
tip. Yeah.
That's the best answer we've heard, Jess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read Foundation Genetics.
Subscribe.
And
Subscribe.
yeah,
Yeah,
subscribe, press like. Also, too, we get a lot of questions now because of Foundation Genetics. Like, should I breed this to this or this and this? What are my results going to be? Have fun with it. Breed it. Get results. Like, this is how we got to what we're doing now, is because we wanted to see, you know, instead of getting the answer, because now you have to visualize it. Like, just do it, and then you can actually
learn what your animals can produce. Do your own research as well.
Hold them back so you can see them develop, because they go through a change. A lot of new breeders want to sell them right away. They're like, oh, I have the parents, I'm going to just sell all the babies. No, keep some. Sell the ones that you think are, like, you know, keep the nice ones.
I'd say start slow, you know, grow your collection, choose what you like. You know, let yourself, you know, you drive what you like. Don't let other people drive what you like, you know, because I feel like too many people focus on what should I do rather than, well, what do you like? You know, because it starts off as a hobby for everybody. So you really, you know, I want people to really appreciate the hobby for it is, instead of feeling like they're pressured to, like, meet a standard, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That'd be my number one thing. It's just, you know, if you like this animal and that's the look that you like, then, you know, chase that look, make some more of it.
Well, you're the one that's going to be taking care of it and taking pictures of them and everything. So you better like them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
you better enjoy what
have
you're
fun
working
with it. Burnout is real. So have a game plan.
Yes.
If you have a bad experience with a breeder or someone in the community, don't shy away from the community, because that's just one bad apple, you know.
Yeah, that's good advice.
It's a family here, you know, and we've gotten to the point where we can talk about these things. You know, we can talk about genetics. It's not a secret. It's all out there. I'll tell you what made what, you know.
Yeah.
So be a part of the community. Even new people, like, don't be shy because you don't have all the information. We don't have the information. You know, we have information, but we don't have all of it.
We're all learning still.
There's always something to learn. Like, we're always learning. Like, just because it is what it is right now doesn't mean it's not going to change. So keep learning.
I also know for sure we haven't discovered everything too. So there's still a lot to learn. There's new things that we're all working on now. A lot of people in the background as well. So there's still stuff that's going to be coming out. But I'd say, you know, just, you know, keep an eye out for anything that's unique. And if you want to work on it, work on it.
Yeah,
that's a huge one, is do something different, you know, and look for something that's unique.
Yeah.
That will help everybody in the long run, because we'll have a lot of cool new animals to work with.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. New phenotypes would be wicked cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Like, we like weird stuff, and that's why we have so many projects.
Yeah, I know. Like, literally, Phantom's been, like, one of my favorite genes to work with, you know?
Yeah.
I love Phantom stuff.
Yeah.
That's good. So where can we find you? Instagram, Facebook, your website. Where can we find you? Where can we get your animals? How can we
most of it's going to be on our website.
Okay.
And then we have Instagram, where I usually chat with people on Instagram.
Cool.
And
Jess
then
has
chatty. Message him.
Jess has Instagram too. You can bother her.
I'm usually in the Gecko room, and I'm like, I can't be distracted, so I'll put my phone away, and then he's over there.
So our website, Instagram.
What is our website?
lmreptiles.com.
What is our Instagram?
Our Instagram is lm.reptiles.com. And then
it's lm.reptiles.
Oh yeah, it is lm.reptiles.
It would be funny if it had .com.
Yeah, you guys asking me. What else? We have a Facebook.
We have Facebook.
And a morph market.
And morph market.
Okay. I'll link all of that stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So we are working on updating our website. It's just photographing hasn't been a priority.
Yeah, we have a massive amount of animals that are going to be added to that. Like, it's not going to be like 10.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 200.
It needs to be 200.
Oh my goodness.
I probably could do 200. I don't think I have enough energy in me to finish that off though. That many. But yeah, it'll be a really big update when it comes out. And if you want to see information or anything like that from us, then at the very, very bottom of the website, we have something where you can put your email and you'll get maybe like 5 emails from us a year, maybe at the most. And you can see when we do holdback releases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
At the bottom of every single page. Yeah, right there.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. Jess and Anthony, we appreciate you guys. Oh, you had something to say. Go, Jess.
I was gonna say a tip to people that are looking for something is go to our Instagram, find what exactly you're looking for. So like, oh, I want something that looks like this, and show us so I can go pull it. Because sometimes people give me like a general, I'm like, okay, there's so many variations of that. It's like hard for me to kind of like narrow it down. So go find a picture
and then DM you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we typically don't do too many custom orders, but because it's taking us a while to update our website, we have been. So
yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Anthony and Jess. We appreciate you guys. We thank you that you finally came on. And
thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys
Thanks for coming
in the future. We appreciate you. For everybody else, we are recording on Thursday, and it's coming out tomorrow. So there's no time to slide pictures in this week. Sorry. Everything we reference. Everything we reference. Use your imagination.
Use your imagination.
Just imagine it.
Imagine who this person is and what this animal is. Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe to our YouTube and follow Anthony and Jess, Lil Monsters Reptiles.
Thanks, guys.
And we appreciate you guys. Take care.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. See you guys. Thank you.
See you guys. Bye.